What is going on, guys? Dave from Wake Up It's Football alongside of Ezra from Idiot Ezra, bringing you guys the 2015-2016 NFL Awards Show. We are a couple of days away from the Super Bowl. Why not bring you guys our winners for this year in regards to who played the best at, on the offensive side of the ball, defensive side of the ball, rookies, coaches, comeback player, the MVP, even Bum of the Year. We'll bring that award to you guys as well, so stay tuned for that. But we're coming at you guys live tonight. 4 days away or so from the Super Bowl now, so it should be a good one. Denver, Carolina, Peyton Manning, Cam Newton. So it's going to be a great showdown. Ezra, the Super Bowl is right around the corner. Have you? I guess you can say not changed your mind, but Are you leaning more towards Denver at all? Kind of thinking about it from last week at all, or
when it comes
to the Panthers?
No.
Not bandwagon, but you know what I mean. Are you still on the Panthers side?
I wasn't. I didn't even pick a side really, but if I'm a betting man, and I'm talking about the spread here because right now I believe the Panthers have a 6-point favorite in Las Vegas. Betting side, I'm going for Denver. Okay, I'm putting money on them because I think 6 points is a large, and I'm hearing by Sunday it's going to be over 7 points because a lot of people are putting a ton of money on the Panthers to win this game. So that's why the spread is getting so large right now. So I will put it on Denver. But overall, I really don't care who wins. I just want to see a great game. But the feeling of this, all of a sudden, it seems like Denver can't stand next to Carolina's, bothering me a little bit. But, this is the number one defense in the NFL, probably the best defense we've seen in, I don't know, maybe 2-3 years ago, if you want to bring up those Seahawks when they won their Super Bowl. And before that, I don't know, maybe the Buccaneers. This defense is really, really good. And in a lot of different ways and categories, they're historically good. And you saw last week how they absolutely dominated the Patriots, took control of that game with their defense. I think they're capable, again, of slowing down and containing Cam Newton. So this game is much closer than what Las Vegas and the betting people think, that's for sure.
Well, we're gonna be I'm posting links for the Red Zone Blitz right now. But we're going to be breaking down our awards tonight for, who we think deserves some recognition, who played the best, this year. And I think we've already, stated who our MVP was in previous Red Zone Blitzes. So for those of you who do not know, if you want to change yours or not, for me, it's going to have to be Cam Newton. Let me just finish posting this link here.
Are you talking about your MVP already?
My MVP, and the reason why I said that is because normally, you don't want to save that for last. But, we've kind of put it out there already. Why not? Why would we save that for last if everyone already knows who we're going to choose at MVP?
I think it's a gimme this year. I've been saying it since, I don't know, week 10. Not since week 10. I don't think he wrapped it up by then. But, him and Brady had this close fight for MVP. But later on in those weeks, maybe about 13, 14, just Cam Newton just ran away with the MVP award. So I think that's the easiest award out of all the awards that we're going to talk about tonight. And the last couple weeks here on the Red Zone Blitz, I've been to start off the show, I've been on little rants. I think 2 weeks ago, I'm talking about people proclaiming the greatest of all time when it comes to every single thing in all of sports. Got on that. Last Red Zone Blitz, how people have been disrespecting the Panthers. And then I said, this team deserves a lot of credit and deserves to be historically, good if they go 18-1, and they deserve that respect. Like, they'll be one of the great teams of all time. And this week, because, when it comes to the Super Bowl, they overanalyze, overhype every single thing. I'm watching, ESPN, Who's the safety? Oh, Ryan Clark. You know, Ryan Clark is a safety. He's been in football for, I don't know, 12 years, 13 years, a long time. And he's not the only one. Cam Newton is, you know, something we've never seen before. He is a rare talent. I totally agree with all of that. He is a combination of size, speed, power, all that combined in one. You know, we haven't seen too many of that, but we've seen it before. I keep hearing this. Oh, we've never seen something like this before. We've never. It's the first time I've seen this. I think you remember a guy, I don't know, maybe about 15 years ago, David, who used to play in your division. Does he remind you of? Wasn't he Cam before Cam? If you know what I'm talking about. Dante Culpepper. Didn't he have a gun for an arm?
You know, I have my own opinion on Dante Culpepper. I think Randy Moss more made him. I think Culpepper had one really, really, really good season.
I'm not saying,
but go ahead.
I'm not saying Dante Culpepper is on the same level as Cam.
Right.
I'm just talking about in terms of talent and in terms of what he's done in the game. Man was on the Madden the cover of Madden before. The man had a rocket of an arm. He was an offensive lineman, basically. He used to run people over. He was mobile. And he threw for a lot of touchdowns, too. Yes, Randy Moss was a big help. Chris Carter was a big help. But he had that talent. So don't tell me this is the first time you've seen a player at this quarterback position with this type of talent. I've seen it before. His name is Dante Culpepper. Was he as good? Probably not, but he had some big years in Minnesota. And maybe you don't want to admit that because he used to kick the Packers' butt for a couple of those years, David. But it is what it is. It's all right.
No, but Cam Newton, though, again, when it comes to how well he throws the ball, I think he was 16th. Yeah, I think he was ranked 16th in passing yards. But the touchdown to interception ratio he had, I'd have to look again, was good. But it's the run the ball. It's the fact that he can produce on the ground, scored 10 rushing touchdowns, over 600 rushing yards. The fact that he's a dual threat, the fact that he's so big, and the fact that he's in the Super Bowl right now, and if he wins it, it's going to be, open and shut case. That's it. It's a wrap. Cam Newton is MVP. He finally found, he finally put it all together. This was his year, and look what happened. They're in the Super Bowl. To stats real quick on Cam, I'm almost positive that he was like 16th, I think, in passing yards, but it doesn't mean that he has, passing yards aren't everything.
He was number one in touchdowns. If you combine both, you have to combine both. He had 45 touchdowns. And I think combined passing and rushing, he had about 4,500 yards. The man had an unbelievable year. He won 15-1 in the regular season.
Yeah.
Just no way around it. Like I said, him and Brady were neck and neck. Probably about 13 weeks into the year. And after that, the Panthers just kept on winning, and he kept producing. It was a stretch for like 3 weeks straight. He threw. Didn't he have like 5 combined touchdowns for like every single week? He averaged 5 touchdowns for 3 weeks. He was on an unbelievable pace towards the end. He just got better throughout the year.
Cam Newton, 16th in passing yards, 35 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, but he also did produce on the ground. Again, it was 10 rushing touchdowns, 600. It's still loading here. It was 636 rushing yards on 132 attempts. That's an average of 4.8 yards per carry, 10 rushing touchdowns. What more can you say, man?
I think,
So
like I said, I think everybody will agree in the chat that, Cam Newton is the clear MVP this year. It's just, I think this is by far the easiest award to predict, give out, talk about. It's too easy. It's too easy. We can't really we can't have fun with this, David. There's no debate here. Well, us two talking about football, we can only agree and glorify this because the man deserves all the credit. We could talk about number 2. Maybe we could talk about who's in second place to MVP. That's more of a big argument than anything. Maybe we could probably put Carson Palmer there now with Tom Brady. Maybe Adrian Peterson. Maybe some of these wide receivers. You could put a couple of names there, but number 1, it's Cam's award this year. It's his year. It's the year of the Cam. Year of the dab.
No, I that's one thing I don't like is a dab.
You don't like the dab? You don't like the
What why? Why? What does it mean? What is it? Why? What are you doing? Just get in the end zone and go to the bench.
Oh, please. Oh, you don't like the celebration? I'll tell you, we have a
I don't need to see this.
I already told you.
He tears his shirt open like he's Superman. And he does one of these. Get out of here with that.
We haven't played Monopoly. I tell you, you're gonna get some dabs, Dave. I'm like, why? Oh, you stepped on my property? Oh, son.
All right.
Connect 4. I'll do the same thing. Oh, Oprah, even though I don't like Superman too much, corniest superhero of all time, but whatever.
All right. So we know the MVP. Let me introduce the Offensive Player of the Year award.
Let me introduce this.
Go ahead. Let's see that.
Let's see. What's that? What's that, David?
Oh, my goodness.
What's that, David? Let's put the mic down. What's that, David? Oh, even Santa with the dab. How about that?
Why would you buy that, man?
Because I got to show everybody, okay? Dabbing Santa.
All right. Offensive Player of the Year award, Ezra. Now, again, before we do this, guys,
we didn't talk to each other about our
we
awards.
didn't talk. Yeah, we didn't tell each other who we have in each category, so we have no idea if we have every single category right or every single category different. Ezra, let's hear yours first. Offensive Player of the Year.
Offensive Player of the Year. I'm gonna go with a guy that I think played with 4 quarterbacks this year. Let me think of one. I think four quarterbacks this year. Okay. And he had a big year at the wide receiver position. Breakout year. 11 touchdowns. 1,500 yards. 111 catches. I can't name his second wide receiver, DeAndre Hopkins. I know other wide receivers, Antonio Brown and Julio Jones, had bigger years statistically. I think you could really argue Julio Jones for this award too, but I think DeAndre Hopkins gets my Offensive Player of the Year because he was their offense. They've had an inconsistent running game. They had inconsistency at quarterback. They had inconsistency at the offensive line. He was the constant force on that offensive side of the ball, and he was one of the big reasons they won that division. DeAndre Hopkins.
Interesting. I don't think too many people would go DeAndre Hopkins just because I like seeing other positions get awards. I really do. Give it to who deserves it. And DeAndre Hopkins is one of those players who does deserve being nominated or being that player. He is up there with those guys. My guy is going to be Tom Brady at the age of 38 years old, still statistically top 3 in the NFL at the quarterback position at 38 years old. You don't hear that. You don't see that. Look what happened to Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning's a year older. So the gap between those two guys is not very, is not very wide or anything. They're neck and neck in age. Peyton Manning is kind of teetered down into, the dark abyss. Hey, man, Tom Brady, on the other hand, complete opposite. Top 3 quarterbacks statistically, threw for the third most yards, had the best touchdown to interception ratio in the league with 36 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, had one of the highest passer ratings in the NFL. And he did it at the age of 38. I mean, you got guys like some of the younger guys below him. I know Matt Ryan's in his younger 30s, same as Eli Manning. Blake Bortles broke the top 10 in yards thrown. Matthew Stafford, Ryan Tannehill, Kirk Cousins, all in the top 10. Those guys are a lot younger than Tom Brady.
I think there should be a new rule. No quarterback should win Offensive Player of the Year. That's just my opinion. Because you know why? These other positions, okay, besides running back, they don't have a chance. They rarely have a chance to win MVP.
I understand, and I agree with you.
Besides Adrian Peterson, can you tell me the last
It's been a while.
Quarterback MVP?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Tell me in the chat. Besides Adrian Peterson, what was the last non? It must have been another running back, I imagine.
Probably. LT. I think it was LT.
LT when he had like that 27 touchdowns. I'm guessing is LT.
Anyway, the reason why, again, I picked Brady is because of his age. And the fact that he did it at 38 years old, the way he produced, he kept his team competitive all year long. One of the best teams in the AFC, took his team to the AFC Championship game. Did it with a lot of injuries. Did a lot of his wide receivers, Amendola, Edelman, Deion Lewis went out. The pieces around him weren't there the entire season, and he still got it done. So at 38 years of age, I'm gonna have to give that to Tom Brady, man. I'm not big on Tom Brady as everyone else is. I don't love Tom Brady like everybody else does, but man, to do it at 38 is incredible to me. So that's where I'm going.
So you give him the award because he's 38 years old?
Who? Tell me who. I sound like an owl right now. Has done it at that age.
What does that have to do with Offensive Player of the Year?
Ezra, he was one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
I agree. He has, like I said, he's probably second in MVP voting.
Second behind who?
Cam Newton. I totally
agree
with you.
But why
is he 38 years old? A little too much, buddy.
But why is he second, though?
Because he's 38?
If he put those same numbers up this year or a couple years ago that he did this year.
I'm a Jets guy anyway. F the Patriots.
Yeah, I know.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I know. That's why
Tom Brady. That's why he looks stupid in that sketch when he was in court. Whatever.
Defensive Player of the Year.
My Defensive Player of the Year? I was really looking at this. I'm looking at these players.
This was really, really hard.
You know what? In the end, I don't think so. I'm looking at Khalil Mack's numbers. I'm like, man, Khalil Mack had a fantastic year. Josh Norman got a lot of praise and media coverage this year. He got a lot of hype this year. Man, Luke Kuechly, but he missed 3 games. I'm going to end it with the constant monster that is J.J. Watt.
Mm-hmm.
Led the league in sacks for 17.5. Once again, he had 8 pass deflections from his position. 3 forced fumbles. He had more sacks, more forced fumbles, more pass deflections than Khalil Mack. And more slightly. No, he's actually tied with Khalil Mack in tackles. It's just J.J. Watt is just. He is this generation's LT. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, Lawrence Taylor, I think he was the last defensive player to win MVP. J.J. Watt is that good. He has a chance. Remember, what was it, last year?
He should have won it last year, man.
You see, people were talking about winning. This guy is this generation's Lawrence Taylor. He's just that dominant from his position.
My defensive player of the year is also J.J. Watt. Looking at the numbers, there's a lot of guys who I thought definitely deserved some recognition. You mentioned Khalil Mack. Ezekiel Ansah had 14.5 sacks of the Detroit Lions. His tackles though weren't as high as Mack and Watt. From the secondary, I wanted to mention, where's his name? Rashad Johnson. Rashad Jones of the Miami Dolphins at safety. He had a very, very, very phenomenal season. You don't hear safeties being talked about defensive, player of the year. But, I mean, listen to this stat line. He had 135 combined tackles at safety, 2 sacks, 10 passes deflected, 5 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, and a fumble recovery. That's one hell of a stat line for a safety. So I think his name deserves to be thrown out there, even though I didn't, give him the award. A couple other notables. Reggie Nelson led the league in interceptions, tied first with Marcus Peters at cornerback there. Both of them had 8 picks.
Muhammad Wilkerson. Oh, put my boy in there if you throw mentions. Just saying.
Wilkerson, I think, had 12 sacks. He had 12 sacks this year. But I'm going to give it to J.J. Watt for all the reasons that you mentioned. He also, one of those statistics that kind of goes under the rug is yards lost per tackle. Every yard, I know it sounds cliche, but football is a game of inches. Every yard counts, and J.J. Watt accounted for the most yards lost per sack. So, that's also a huge factor. You push the offense back as far as you can. It's going to make them, it's going to make it a lot harder for them to get first downs. It's going to make it a lot harder for them to score points. J.J. Watt in that category also was first in the league. So, again, I thought he should have won MVP last year, but he didn't. This year, I'm going to give him defensive player of the year.
Oh, well, that's our second agreement because our MVP is Cam. Some thoughts on the guys on these awards when it comes to Offensive Player of the Year. Andre says Hopkins. Super Hippo put Antonio Brown. Bird Gang didn't really. Well, he said DeAndre Hopkins too. So we got 2 people with DeAndre Hopkins. Mawson also went with DeAndre Hopkins. So they went there, and then when they went to your pick, Bird Gang said Palmer was the best QB this season. Well, his name is Bird Gang. He's a Cardinals fan, so it's a little bias there. And when it comes to defensive play of the years, we got Honey Badger from Jake, but he got hurt. I think he would have been there considered a lot more if he didn't get hurt. He was having a fantastic year. That man is probably the all around. I don't know when you include like going after the quarterback, probably all around, and he is this era's Troy Polamalu. He's all around fantastic safety to watch. I think Earl Thomas is the best safety in football, but man, Honey Badger's the man. Super Hippo said J.J. Watt or Josh Norman. Bird Gang said Josh Norman ain't shit. Excuse my language. He's just a product of the pass rush and scheme. I don't know. Like I said, I know they run a lot of zone coverage over there, but I won't call him crap because of the scheme. That's just the scheme that you can't fault him because of the scheme. He's still doing his thing under that scheme. So Josh Norman deserves a lot of credit. And Jake is wondering now, Rookie of the Year. That's where he wants to go to now.
Offensive Rookie of the Year. We can get into that. I think this is obvious, man. I mean, it's down to, I thought, 2 guys between Todd Gurley and Amari Cooper. I went with Gurley. I think Gurley, for the reason is Gurley, I thought, when it comes to how much of an impact those 2 players had on their team, I thought Gurley had more of an impact on the Rams than Amari Cooper did on the Oakland Raiders. Amari Cooper finished his last, I think, 3 or 4 games out of the year. Not very productive. Didn't have a great season. I think Reggie McKenzie wanted to shut him down. Thought about doing it, but he did not.
Because he was hurt.
Because he was hurt. I should have said that first. But he didn't. Amari Cooper played through the injury. I believe it might have been a foot. Point is, Todd Gurley, to me, the way he just came on the scene after the ACL injury he suffered in college, top 10 pick, taken 10th by the Rams, just absolutely looked like a top 5 running back right away in the NFL. Got to give him a lot of credit. So that's the guy I'm going to go with.
And a tough division, too. Tough division.
It is a very tough division, yeah. Especially running against, a Cardinals defense, it's no joke. Yeah. Seahawks defense, it's no joke. And the Niners defense, that's probably poo-poo, but, still they got some guys like Navarro Bowman, who I think led the league in tackles. So, hats off to Gurley.
Well, I disagree with you, buddy. I'm going with the 4th overall pick, and that is Amari Cooper. And you talk about tough divisions. Where's the number 1 defense at? And it's in his division, isn't it? And now, where was the hottest defense at? The Chiefs in his division. Man, and he still put up over 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns, and give Derek Carr a consistent weapon week in and week out, boosted that man's confidence up, changed the dynamic of that offense this year. I'm giving it to Cooper. Yes, he tailed off at the end. Where was Gurley the first 4 weeks of the season? Hurt, right? Okay, I know. And guess what? The last 4 weeks of the season, Cooper was hurt. So, let's not forget that, guys, okay? I like Cooper a lot. I love what he brought to the team. And let's not forget what divisions these guys played in. I think you can go with either or. I don't think it was a clear cut. I'm not going to, go fight and battle over this. But I think Cooper deserves Offensive Rookie of the Year. The man had a fantastic year.
And guys, don't be afraid to throw down your comments as well as to who you guys think, who your awards go to.
Well, right now we got Kim says he's got Gurley. DeFore got Gurley. So Ezra Cramp said Cooper didn't play all of his games against the Chiefs and Broncos. I know that. He only played 4 games against them. Thank you for letting me know. I'm just saying you're talking about 4 games against probably top 5 defenses in the league, right?
I would say so, yeah.
The Chiefs had the hottest defense in the league and the best passing defense the last 10 weeks, was it? Or something ridiculous. And the Broncos, they were just smacking people in the mouth left and right. I just want to bring that up, that he only had 1,070 yards, which is still rare for wide receivers. I know it's been becoming more common, but that just doesn't happen throughout the history of the NFL of wide receivers just getting 1,000-yard seasons in their first year. I don't think Calvin Johnson did it. I don't think Randy Moss did it.
We have to look that up.
I think there's a lot of big receivers that didn't have. Des Bryant, I don't think did it. So,
and Calvin Johnson, we haven't talked about that.
And the man's, he's.
Have not talked about old boy Calvin Johnson, man. Calvin Johnson did not his rookie year. Calvin had 756. Yep. He didn't have it in his 3rd year. He was 16 yards short in his 3rd year. So let's look up Randy Moss stats. Look him up. See what he did in his rookie year. I'll tell you what, though. The most impressive.
Maybe Randy Moss did it. Maybe Randy Moss did it. I'm thinking maybe. I'm going to lean towards Randy Moss did do it.
Randy Moss. Oh, man. Did he ever. Randy Moss's rookie year. 1,313 yards.
Yeah,
See, I listen to this. Listen to. Are you ready for this? This is ridiculous.
Randy Moss had
on 69 receptions.
Yeah, he's the greatest.
Ezra.
He's the greatest downfield threat I've ever seen. So
Ezra, listen to this, man. Listen to this stat line. If you put this stat line in today, oh my Lord, listen to this. He played all 16 games, 69 receptions, 1,313 yards, which equates to a 19.0 yards per catch average. He was averaging almost 20 yards a catch. 17 touchdowns, son.
Yeah, he's Randy Moss is the best downfield threat I've ever seen in my life. Okay, and you know what?
17 touchdowns. That's insane.
And guess what? Calvin Johnson is a beast. He doesn't even come close to a downfield threat that Randy Moss was. It was insane.
That's nuts.
But Des Bryant didn't do it. Des Bryant had 561 yards, and in his second year, he had 928 yards. So,
anyway, that's Amari Cooper, Todd Gurley. Those are our offensive rookie of the years. Defensive. Ezra, you want to share yours?
I gave him some love a couple weeks ago. I'm going to give him some love again, and I think this is easy, and that's Marcus Peters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The man led the league in INTs, and he led the league in pass deflections with 26.
Woo!
So when the man was thrown in his way, he made plays up and down the field. And like I said, this was the best passing defense in the last, like I said, 10, 11 weeks, and he was a big reason for it. Teams thought they could take advantage of this rookie. He should have known. I'm a big-time player. I get the INTs, and your boy ain't going to get the smack. He was smacking him down. Like he was playing tennis out there. Flipping them burgers. Just, flipping them burgers. Marcus Peters.
Marcus Peters is also my defensive rookie of the year. I think is everybody's defensive rookie of the year. When you lead the league in interceptions, you lead the league in passes deflected. That's saying a lot right away. As a rookie, you're going up against best wide receivers in the world, but I mean, like in the division that he plays, you're going up against guys like Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, Amari Cooper, who had a good year. What team am I missing? The Chargers. Keenan Allen. But the point is, Marcus Peters. I'm trying to find his stats here compared to all the other players defensively. You have to give me a second, but he should have been a top 5 pick, and the reason why he wasn't going into the draft evaluation process, he might have been a top 10 guy, but he fell because of the altercations that he had at Washington with his coaches. That kind of lowered his draft stock. The Chiefs still took that shot on him in the top 20,
and it paid off the first year. And he had 2
paid off the first year.
And he had 2 touchdowns. Man, he had a huge year. Huge year.
I'm trying to pull up these numbers really quickly so I can kind of compare him to some of these other guys. But man, I mean, leading the league in interceptions your rookie season is, you don't really hear that kind of stuff. The last guy who I can remember was Luke Kuechly, who I think led the league in tackles his rookie season, I believe, which I think is also why he won Defensive Rookie of the Year. But 60 combined tackles, 53 of those which are solo tackles, 26 passes deflected, 8 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, and a forced fumble. You're not going to get much better production than that out of anybody. So they really hit the nail on the head at the 18th pick there. Took a shot on Peters, and it definitely paid off. A notable, Ronald Darby in the Buffalo Bills camp. Wasn't like Peters statistically, but he was more of a shutdown guy in Buffalo. 68 combined tackles, 2 interceptions. Didn't really put up the numbers like Peters, but I think he deserves a mention at cornerback there. So we both agreed there. What about comeback player of the year?
Comeback player of the year. Someone said this in around week 1. I think it was Nick, one of your Packers fan. I think it was him. I think I want to give him that credit. Said in week 1, guaranteed, automatic comeback player of the year, Eric Berry. We know what he went through last year. The man fought through cancer, came back and went to the Pro Bowl. That's it. Drop mic. I should drop the. I would drop my mic, but I can't afford another one, so I'm just keep it right here. But if I could drop in the mic, Eric Berry, you know, the adversity he had to deal with all, you know, last year and coming back and still playing professional football, where this disgusting disease takes people's lives in so many ways and affects people. The man went to the Pro Bowl. So Eric Berry.
I actually went with Adrian Peterson. Didn't play really all last year at all.
The reason I can't give it to Adrian Peterson, and I think he should be disqualified, it's not like it was an injury or football related. It was pure idioticness. Him being a scumbag. Him being a straight a-hole. Okay? You know, how can I come back? What did he come back from? He still might be an idiot.
Well, that's not the point of him being an idiot or not. The point is, I think what had happened with him and his kid.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Right.
Should Josh Gordon have a chance to win Comeback Player of the Year next year? Should Justin Blackman deserve a chance to be Comeback Player of the Year next year?
With the exception of you like committing a major felony like murder or something wild, if Josh Gordon comes back next season and leads the league in receiving, yes, I think he deserves it.
I don't know, man. It doesn't take away that Adrian Peterson had a fantastic year. Like I said, he
led the league in rushing, man.
He deserves, top 5 MVP consideration. But Comeback Player of the Year, like, what does that really define as? Now, I would love to see what do they define Comeback Player of the Year for?
I don't know. From my perspective, I understand Eric Berry had cancer. I
know that has nothing to do with, I guess you could use the same argument. I don't know. I don't think you could use the same argument against me. I'm not saying you are, but anybody. Can you use the same argument against me about the Eric Berry and this, because it was an off the field thing. It was something with health, but it was something health that deals with football.
Right.
Cancers, obviously deals with more than football your whole life. But what Adrian Peterson did was just asinine.
Yeah, but also what he did, in a sense, is what many other people have done before, and that was to attempt to discipline their children.
Okay.
In which the way that he did it, not many people agree with.
Yeah, we don't have to get into the incident. Right. Okay. Well,
so
what's worse that he came from? Like, when we're talking about what's worse, what they came from.
Yeah, I understand. Back, Eric Berry. Yes.
We'll go Eric Berry.
But to me, it's also about production. Yeah, you can come back. I mean, you can have 5 players who have cancer this season, right? 4 of the 5, can come back next year, play, maybe not well, maybe not great, whatever, but just play. Are you going to give them the Comeback Player of the Year award because they played? Or are you going to give them the award because the way in which they played was at a level that exceeded expectations?
All I can say is he came back from this disgusting disease and helped lead a secondary that was the best in the league. And he went to the Pro Bowl. That's it.
I mean, I'm a Packers fan saying a Vikings player should be, be given an award. So
it's not like the Chiefs' pass defense, with 30th in the league.
I understand.
They were getting slammed everywhere. So he said, DeFore said, comeback player must excel. Oh, Eric Berry did. Just saying. And I know that's a whole unit, but I can use that argument for everything. Sports in general, football, especially in general, is a team concept. Adrian Peterson doesn't get 1,400 yards without his offensive lineman. So if you want to bring up that up, I can say the same thing.
None of the running backs do anything without an offensive line.
I know. I'm just that's what I'm saying. It's a team sport. Woo. Did we go through all our awards? Oh, no. We got to go most improved, right?
But hold on. No. There's coach of the year. There's bum of the year. And then if there's any other ones you guys want to throw out, we can try and answer those. But coach of the year. Who you got, Ez?
For what? Coach of the year?
Yes, sir.
Come on. Ron Rivera, 15-1. Who thought they were going to go 15-1?
I don't have Ron Rivera as coach of the year.
I'm going with the best record in football. 15-1, Ron Rivera. That's what I'm going with.
You know, Bird Gang is cracking me up right now, man. Because
everything is a Cardinals, right?
Every time, all right. Defensive player of the year, Tyrann Mathieu. Offensive player of the year, Larry Fitzgerald. Comeback player of the year, Carson Palmer. Coach of the year, Bruce Arians. My coach of the year, I'm going to give it to Andy Reid. The patience. I don't even know what words to pull out right now. The patience it must have taken. The strength it must have taken as a team. The will to fight back from a 1-5 record. When you're sitting there at 6 games through the year, right? You're thinking 1-5. Our season's damn near over already.
But he lost.
That's not the point.
You know what I love though? My argument is, he did lose those 5 games. Like they went 1-5, and he was one of the reasons for it.
But to fight back, man, it's not a physical thing. It's not physical. It's not physical. It's mental. And the way to really rally the troops, man, and mentally come back from the beating that you just got through 6 games and go undefeated for the rest of the season. That's great stuff. And I've never really seen that happen before. 2-5, 3-5, 4-5, 5-5. It's 5-5. You're like, oh man, now we have a shot, and then they just win the rest of the games out.
I think there's a lot of a lot of coaches that deserve consideration. Man, there was a lot of great stuff going on. Bruce Arians is not a bad. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
What about Gary Kubiak? Bill Belichick, Mike Tomlin. He missed Big Ben for 4 games.
It might have been more than 4, but
Le'Veon Bell was out for 15 games. And there's a lot of great stuff this year. But I'm going Ron Rivera, 15-1. No one saw that coming. Top 10 in offense, defense. Come on.
This comes down to the last award, bum of the year. As who you got?
Super Hippo must be reading my mind because I'm going with that hamburger helper over there in Packers land. I'm going with Eddie Lacy, man. And I'm not even looking at numbers. Maybe statistically he's probably not the bum of the year. But when I read that text message, he was like, Ezra, come up with a bum of the year. All I thought, Eddie Lacy he ran through my mind. But he fell after, he didn't fall. He didn't run across it because he fell and got tackled in the middle of my head. But immediately, Eddie Lacy fumbled in my mind right there. He was just instant for me.
This was easy for me because it's the most probably popular choice. It's got to be Johnny Manziel. Johnny had an opportunity.
But he played well. He made dumb decisions.
The thing is, that's the point. When you have a shot, all right, at getting the keys to a Lamborghini, are you going to mess that up? When you have the opportunity.
Never given that award to Josh Gordon, your boy.
Josh Gordon has had maybe 2 instances?
2 years. He's missed like 2 years of football.
That's got him kicked out of the league, and he proved that he can play. He led the league in receiving. Johnny Manziel has an opportunity to do it, okay? Show us what you got. Let's see why you were drafted in the first round.
I like Bird Gang.
Why you were hyped up.
But Bird Gang said DeMarco Murray.
Yeah, DeMarco Murray had a lot to do with me. I mean, personally, I think it was the offensive line that he played behind in Dallas that made him productive more than anything else. But different story for a different day. Johnny Manziel cannot stay out of this magnifying glass that the media has on him. And every time he does something stupid, it's going to be known. And he does not understand that.
You could go with Peyton Manning here also.
JPP's finger.
But JPP had a solid year when he came back. Peyton Manning, Matt Ryan. You could put Matt Ryan in there. No. Matt Ryan. Yeah.
At least Matt Ryan started out like 6-1. At least he had something happen good somewhere along the line. Johnny Manziel was just a bum. He sat on the bench. He come in the game. Listen, he does not know how to be an NFL quarterback. He knows how to be a college kid. He knows how to act like one. But when it comes to understanding the fact that there's millions of dollars invested in what you're doing to benefit a franchise,
Ryan Tannehill,
get him out of here.
Ryan Tannehill. We got a couple bum mentions in here. Got a couple of them. Ryan Tannehill.
I'm saying John.
I see blasphemy in the chat. If this was Twitch, I'll mute you for a minute, Jake. How dare you say Marvin McNutt? How dare you? Oh, you're lucky. I owe you the boot. I'm gonna remember this. When next time on the next show, you get the boot for blasting Marvin McNutt like that. Remind me, David, who gets the boot next time is Jake
Kubiak or Kubiak. I can't
believe you just said that.
Kubik?
I can't believe you just said that about. He just called Marvin McNutt bum of the year. Oh hell no, he gets the boot. We don't play that here.
Yeah, Marvin McNutt is the greatest of all time, son.
That's the only one. That's the only one I'll ever admit to. Marvin McNutt, greatest of all time. Everything else, I never want to talk about greatest of all time. Marvin McNutt, it's clear. Clear as ice.
Now we've gotten to the point of the show where we have to ask you guys: are there any other awards that you guys want us to hand out? Make us think a little bit. Throw down some awards in the comment box. If they're, good enough, we'll answer those with certain players. But we need more ideas. We made a list. We gave you guys our answers. Let's see what you guys got for us. But in the meantime, is Calvin Johnson pulling a Barry Sanders?
And in terms of age, he retired the same age as him, and he retired as the leader in their franchise. Barry Sanders retired all-time leader and Lions rushing yards. Calvin Johnson, same age, is retiring the all-time leader and receiving yards. But, the difference is, I still think Calvin Johnson can be a high productive guy, but he's not the same Calvin Johnson. He is not a top 5 wide receiver anymore in this league. I still think he could be, a top 15, top 20 guy,
which is still really good.
Was still really good, but the Lions were not going to pay him $11 million or whatever, salary that he was getting when he signed that mega contract. But I think we need to remember this is, probably been the best wide receiver in football the last 6 years.
Yeah.
He was a special talent. He reached incredible heights. What did he have? Almost 2,000 yards at the wide receiver position. Man. So, I think Little Fishy NFL analyst says, why haven't you retired yet award? I think that's
who just came to mind for that award? It's funny he said that.
Peyton Manning. Everybody's gonna say Peyton Manning.
No, I have a better one. Steven Jackson.
Well, he was basically retired. It's just the Patriots gave him a call and was like,
but why haven't you retired yet? That's the award.
Dude. If the Patriots call you, if the Patriots call you and you've never won a Super Bowl, or probably, I don't even think he's ever been to the playoffs in his life that I can remember. Why not be like, okay, I'm coming out of it.
Run for like 7 yards with the Patriots?
He only played like 2 games. If that, probably got like 6 carries.
The most overpaid was Sue. Yeah, I don't. What did he do this year?
Sue's statistics are not going to look great, but he was still getting.
Not, but I mean, did he?
The games that I watched, the man was still commanding a double team.
Okay.
And at some point, you know, this guy who's benefiting was Cameron Wake, who had like 7 sacks in 2 games, and then he got hurt for the year.
Yep.
I think Sue and that, you know, and they get everything settled, you're going to see how important and how valuable Sue is to that team. Yeah, but if you want to talk about in terms of, you know, value and, you know, in terms of wins for the Dolphins, yeah, you know, a defensive lineman getting paid $20 million basically. Yeah, it was very overpaid. Is he the most overpaid guy in football? In terms of production this year, I would like to say no. I would like to say no.
I like that one down there. Softest coach award, Joe Philbin. Yeah, I would agree. Him or Jim Tomsula.
Oh, man.
Jim Tomsula.
Best knockout, Geno Smith.
Hey, you know what? If it wasn't for Geno Smith getting knocked out, I don't think the Jets would have done as good as they did.
Well, we don't know that.
With Fitzy.
You know, I know a lot of people that think IK was it IK? IK's the MVP. He's the Jets MVP this year.
He is the Jets MVP. Yeah,
I will go with Brandon Marshall, but a lot of people will go with IK. A lot of people will go with him. It's just wrong.
We already gone over Eddie Lacy, but the You Need to Lose Weight Award.
Most overlooked team this season? What do you mean overlooked? They went 5-11.
How about this one? Which team, in your opinion, had...
How does a 5-11 team get overlooked? I don't understand that one.
Hold on. I thought the Jaguars were probably, if I had to give this award out, the team that played better than their record.
I'll still go with the Ravens.
I would go with the Jaguars. The Jaguars, man. That offense with both the Allen Robinson and Allen Hurns, dude.
They improved. They were. You know what? If you want to go for an award, the most improved team for the most improved non-winning team. If you want to create that award, I guess we will go with. I will go with the Jaguars.
If they can get their defense a little bit more solidified,
I will go with the Jaguars 1 and the Raiders 2. The Raiders had a very nice.
No. I would put the Raiders first. Derek Carr had a great season. Amari Cooper, Khalil Mack is coming on now. The Raiders, in my opinion, are one step ahead of the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars might do what the Raiders did this year, next year. I think the Raiders have a shot at, maybe cracking a wild card spot next season.
This is going to be a 4th straight year saying that.
I don't care.
It's eventually going to happen. Don't worry about it. It's eventually going to happen.
You know what? They almost did it this year, but they didn't do it.
Not really. They didn't almost do it at all, but they went 7-9.
I thought they went 8-8. Didn't go 8-8?
They went 7-9, and they were like,
"Oh man!" I just said they went 8-8.
But they still qualify for the award. The best non-winning team. I mean, not the best, the most improved non-winning team of the year. I like it. The Jaguars, Raiders, and who else do we want to go with? Maybe the Buccaneers. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, considering where they've been drafting the last few seasons in the top 10, Jameis Winston kind of pulled them out of that, a little bit.
Yeah.
Jameis looked kind of good, and then not to mention Doug Martin had a really good season too.
But the best non-winning team is the Ravens. Yes, by easy.
What was their record?
They were 5-11.
5-11.
And like I said, they set an NFL record for like 8 games or it's 8 to 11 games, something ridiculous, decided 8 points or less. All their games were super tight, man.
Yeah. I think injuries also hurt them too, but they need to, man, they didn't really, their receiver positions kind of.
Well, their rookie got hurt for the whole year. He didn't get to play.
Perriman, yeah, he didn't play. Steve Smith went out, and then after that,
they had injuries all over the place.
Yeah, it was a rough year.
I'm happy Steve Smith is coming back next year.
Yeah, Terrell Suggs, I think, went out early, didn't he?
Well, yeah, he was like the second game of the year he was out, right?
Yeah. So, a lot of that's the thing. That's the thing I love. Who would have thought?
Little Fishy wants to go most overlooked quarterback award, but go ahead. What's your point?
The 49ers and the Ravens played in the Super Bowl against each other how many years ago? Was it 3 now?
3.
Okay. At that time, we had
4.
Kaepernick and all those guys. That defense looks stacked. This is going to be great for years. No one expected Patrick Willis to retire. No one expected Chris Borland to retire. No one expected Harbaugh to leave. Okay?
Now Cap wants to be a Jet. He knows what I say. Who's going to win the championship next year? The Jets. Cap already knows.
The Niners and the Ravens, who would have thought 3 years later they would be both in the top 10 in the 2016 NFL draft?
3-4 years in football life, it's a long time.
Yeah, but if you look at that, especially I'm thinking more of the Niners than the Ravens. If you look at that Niners roster and the way it was with Kaepernick just coming on, that defense still being young, like, oh man, this team's gonna dominate for a good couple of years, and that did not happen. And it was in most recent years.
They must have I
saw the thing that the quickest I saw a team come together, thrive, go to a Super Bowl, and then just absolutely get demolished. It was like a wave came in, and it was just a one wave, crashed on the rocks, and that was it. That was the Niners. None of their fans went to their games this year. Parking out in their stadium cost more than the tickets to go to their game. You don't see that. Their stadium was empty. No one wanted to go see the Niners this year because they were crap.
What? So, oh man, this chat is okay. Most overlooked quarterback. I already have one, and it's not Blake Bortles. Little Fishy said, if you answer that award and don't say Blake Bortles, something is wrong. But this is the what comment. Bird Gang said Blake Bortles is like Andrew Luck.
No.
What?
Yeah.
Blake Bortles had he improved big time this year, and he was big in fantasy football. He killed me in my championship. He lost me $2,500 in my fantasy championship game.
$2,500.
$2,500 in my dynasty league, man.
Wow.
Lost out on it.
Holy smokes, man! You're playing a lot of money over there.
Lost out because he had Blake Bortles and Allen Robinson.
Yeah.
So that combination.
That'll do it.
And in the final week, guess who they played that week? They played the Saints. So
was that a shootout or no?
It was a shootout, all right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with.
You know what? Real quick on Bortles, I had no idea he threw for 35 touchdowns this season.
He had a big year.
I had no idea he threw for 35. You know who else threw for 35? Eli Manning, Carson Palmer, Tom Brady threw for 36. You know who else threw for 35? Cam Newton. You know who had more yards than Cam Newton? Blake Bortles.
Well,
just saying.
He runs.
I'm just saying.
I'm going with the most overlooked quarterback this year. Kirk Cousins was given the job and won the division. And end of the year, hot, caliente, fuego, tamales, okay? Hot peppers, bro. Hot peppers. No one's hating on Bird Gang.
But that is a good point. He like I mentioned earlier about the whole keys to the car. He got the keys to the car and led that team to the division title, and Yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
I'm going to go with Kirk Cousins.
Was too inconsistent.
And not towards the end. Not towards the end. This is his first year starting. People forget that this is Kirk Cousins' first year starting. He got better with the year went on. And that's what you want. You want to see your quarterback progress. And that's what he did. And he ended the year, like I said, hot peppers, bro.
How about this one for most overlooked? How about Alex Smith?
Man, get out of here, man. You don't ever put
what you just overlooked him right there.
Let me ask you, don't ever put overlook and Alex Smith in the same sentence, because
he was only one
Alex
of the more
Smith doesn't
efficient.
look anywhere.
He
only looks 5 yards. He doesn't overlook anything. He doesn't overlook anything past 5 yards. Get out of here.
He's only one of the more efficient quarterbacks in the league.
I will be efficient too. 5 yards deep.
Yeah, on the bench.
I'll give you this. Alex Smith is the best quarterback in football. 5 yards in. That's it. 5 yards? Man. Easy. Arguably the best. After that, you just got problems.
Alex Smith is the best game manager. He's been given that title. Alex Smith, what did he do this year?
Most conservative QB. Thank you, Cram.
20 touchdowns and 7 interceptions.
I bet you he wears a life jacket in a 5-foot pool. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Hey, whose numbers are these? Ready? 2,249 yards.
Wait. We should play a game with the guys and name that player.
All right, here we go.
But you got to give us the position, right?
All right, this is quarterback. Name that player. 2,249 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 17 interceptions.
Oh, that's Peyton Manning. That's Peyton Manning.
Oh, man.
That was too easy. That was too easy. Name that player. Peyton Manning. 9 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. That's easy. That's Peyton Manning.
Brian Hoyer was
why you said that?
Was ahead of Peyton Manning.
You should have did Brian Hoyer's numbers, man.
All right, here's another one. 2,606 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions.
2,600 yards?
2,600 yards, 19 touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
Alex, can I please know how many rushing yards this quarterback had? 19 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Oh, man.
Hold on. Let me pull up his statistics here, because
19 touchdowns.
You're not gonna get this one. How many rushing yards did he had? Oh no, those are attempts. He had 44 rushing yards.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't want to look at the chat because they're giving suggestions, and I'm so lost right now. 2,600 yards, 19 touchdowns, 7
interceptions.
Let me look on the standings over here. I just got to look at. Okay.
Somebody said Tebow.
You know what? I'm gonna go with he must have had more than 2,600 yards. So I'm not gonna go with him. I know. Give me 1 minute, guys. You know what? I'm gonna go with Marcus Mariota. No. You said 44 rushing yards. No. I take that back immediately.
He had that in one. He had that in one run.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said. I take that back. You know what? For the hell of it, I'm gonna go with Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler. That's a terrible guess.
I know it was.
Jay Cutler. Where did he finish?
He must have had better stats than that.
Jay Cutler had 3,600 yards, 21 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. All right, here it is, guys. 2,600 yards, 19 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Brian Hoyer.
Brian Hoyer,
man. Brian Hoyer.
The thing, I know it was a terrible guess because I totally knew that Jay Cutler had more than 2,600 yards. I just didn't think Brian Hoyer would have had that much touchdowns compared to his interceptions. I didn't know the ratio was that large.
Yeah. All right, let's do one more.
You could pick a different position if you like.
I'll do two more. I'll do a quarterback, and then I'll do a somebody else. Let's see. I'll look at the stats. All right, here's a QB. 3,987 yards, so 13 yards shy of 4,000. 32 touchdowns, 13 interceptions.
Matthew Stafford.
Nope. Matthew Stafford.
He's got Matthew Stafford should have over 4,000 yards.
He did, yeah.
Yeah. Is it your boy Russell Wilson?
Not
man.
Russell. Russell had 34 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. This quarterback had 32 touchdowns and 13 interceptions.
Well, I already gave 2 guesses. You got people in the chat going for it.
As Derek Carr.
Derek Carr. Okay. We got Cram.
Good season.
We got a couple people over here. These guys are looking at the quarterback position statistics, okay?
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, they're probably on ESPN right now.
That's why you got to change the. That's why you got to change.
All
the
right. New position here. I'm going. Let me see. I'm not even gonna see. Here we go. Hold on. Let me. Oh, this is still on postseason stats. Hold on. I gotta go regular season. Here we go. Let's go to this one. All right. This player. Let's make this interesting. Make this real interesting. I didn't know that guy did that well. Here we go. 122 combined tackles, 4 sacks, 6 passes deflected, 1 interception, 2 forced fumbles. This is going to be too hard. No one's going to get this.
How many tackles?
122 combined.
Oh, 122 combined.
Former Super Bowl MVP.
So, yeah, former Super Bowl MVP. So it's got to be someone from the Seahawks. No, I don't know. I don't even know who won the MVP on the Seahawks, but I'm gonna go with someone from the Seahawks.
Malcolm Smith.
And what team does he play for?
The Raiders.
Raiders.
Who used to be on the Seahawks when he won that Super Bowl MVP.
That's what I say. It had to be someone from the Seahawks. So I was right. I just don't.
You just don't know his name.
Didn't know the name. I knew it had to be from someone from the Seahawks. The funny part, I couldn't even watch that Super Bowl. I had food poisoning, and I should have been in a hospital, but I was in my bed, vomiting water. So, but I knew it had to be a Seahawk.
That's it for the stat game. I don't know how we got on that, but
anyway, so we're gonna end it with our final predictions for the
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, why not?
I know we spoke about it a little bit last week, and and I kept it very, and I still think, thinking about it for a week, listening to people for a week, they're both running teams. Okay. Even though Denver hasn't been great with it, they've been consistent with it, and they don't care. They're going to run the ball 30 to 35 times. Same with the Panthers. And I'm hearing a lot of people talking about the Panthers' running style is the style that you want to go up against the Broncos' defense. Like the Broncos' defense, because they're a smaller defense, and they're not very big up the middle, and that's where the Panthers love to attack. And that's where a lot of experts believe they have an advantage. So, like I said last week, whoever has the better running game will win this game. And I'm still going to stick with that. I think this is where it's going to be won as the, time of possession, running game, etc. But I maybe because I'm biased, I've always been a defensive guy. And the way Wade Phillips has got this team motivated, and I think the mentality, I've said it all year, when people were talking about this offense, Peyton Manning's no good, I said all year, the tough wins, the way they've been winning games have developed such a grinding mentality for this team. I think the struggles and the fight actually just made this team better and more hungry, and especially with that loss a couple years ago. We already know what the Panthers could do. Cam Newton. He can run the ball. He's got his for some reason people forget that he has a great arm. Throw it deep. He's accurate. He can make throws on the run. And like I said, they run the ball down the throat. Obviously, it's going to come down to can Peyton Manning hit some receivers outside the numbers, maybe one or two down the field to keep the Panthers defense honest. I'm going to go with the Broncos here not because only the run game. I think the other team is whoever makes that X factor play, meaning INT for a touchdown or special teams touchdown or something, is going to be huge. Whoever team does that too is automatic. I think is going to right there. You could pinpoint they're going to be the winner. And this has to be a low-scoring game. Once again, I'm thinking high teens, no more than mid-20s, because if it goes more than mid-20s, Broncos will lose. Broncos will lose. But X factor, I think there's going to be a huge X factor touchdown happening or play in this game to decide the Super Bowl. And I'm going to go with the Broncos because I believe in defense. Even though the Panthers got a sick defense too.
Well, I think Cram down there says who thinks it's going to be a blowout like it was Seahawks and Broncos. I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a lot closer. But I have to go with the Panthers, man. As much as I would like to root for the Broncos and see Peyton Manning win that second ring, which I do want to see, right now it's hard to go against Carolina and how they've played. You want to talk about running the ball? The Panthers are hands down the #1 running team in the NFL by a large margin. So I think that's going to have to be a deciding factor. Last week I said it. If the Broncos want to win, the guys in the interior of that defense, in the middle of that defense, have to be able to stop Jonathan Stewart and Cam Newton. But I still have to go with Cam Newton. I still have to go with the Carolina Panthers. I understand that also defenses, the #1 defenses in the league headed into the Super Bowl are 9-2 all time. But I'm taking Carolina. I think they're the more explosive team. I think they're the team who can put up the most points between the two teams. You score more points, you're going to win the game. Point blank. John Madden said it best. You see, the team that scores the most points is going to win the game. And who tends to be able to do that better?
Can't argue with facts. Can't argue with facts. You score the most points, you're going to win the game.
I think the Panthers in that department have the ability to do it better than the Denver Broncos do. And for that fact, I'm going to go with them. And let's not forget, I mean, the Panthers still have a very, very good defense. It's not like the Broncos are just this #1 defense. Their defense is hands down better than the Panthers. I think the Panthers defense has something to say about that. And I'm going Carolina.
And if Thomas, that might be a big time injury if he can't go full strength in that game. Remember, he broke his forearm. He had surgery right after the game, and he said he's bent on hell playing this game because he's been in the league for like 13 years, and he really wants to play in this game. So we'll see how that factors in. This is going to be great, and like I said, if the Panthers win, you have to put them up there with the historic teams. I think you have to. I think you have to do that.
15-1 with a Super Bowl win, yeah. I think you can.
18-1. Dufour wants to know if Manning loses, where does it put him in it? This doesn't do any. I don't think this adds.
I think it adds to his legacy.
I don't think it does either or for me.
No, it adds. It adds. It does nothing more than add. He made it to another Super Bowl. What more do you want? Yeah, yes. I understand. The point is to win.
No, I'm saying if he loses, yeah.
No. Regardless of win or lose, the fact that he's going to a Super Bowl adds to his legacy. Regardless of whether he's going to be 2-2 in Super Bowls or 1-3 after this Sunday, the fact that he made it to 4 adds to his legacy. Dan Marino didn't make it to 4. Brett Favre didn't make it to 4.
Drew Brees didn't make it to 4.
Aaron Rodgers didn't make it to 4. All these, Jim Kelly, he made it to 4.
Of course, when I talk about the Panthers being a historic, great team if they win the Super Bowl, who's the one? Take a wild guess. Who's the one person that agreed with me in the chat?
Panthers fan.
Panthers God, FSU. Thank you, bro. Thank you for agreeing with me. Bird Gang said that they're going to be taking it next year. Well, I think he said they're going to what? What did he say? I guess he's going to face the Cardinals are going to face the Jets next year in the Super Bowl. And we already know who's going to win that. Jets don't lose in the Super Bowl. They're undefeated. So
undefeated. You keep saying that, man. They've been to 1.
And we didn't lose. Undefeated. Yeah, I'm stating facts here, bro.
Oh man, yeah, you're crazy, man.
Crazy, man.
Let's give out our MVP for tonight. For me, it's hard. It's hard. I want to pick Bird Gang because he was here the whole show, but there was profanities used.
I'm going with Bird Gang because he's been even though he's been biased the whole show about his Cardinals. But his Cardinals had a fantastic year. They do deserve some consideration for Coach of the Year, MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, and maybe Defensive Player of the Year. So a lot of awards. So, yeah, I'm going with Bird Gang. That's my boy.
All right. Man, he's using some funky language. All right. Bird
That's my
Gang,
type of dude right there.
I'll give it to you, even though you're swearing down there.
But Dufour was doing his thing. Cram was doing his thing. Those guys deserve a lot of, praise too.
Cram was there. Cram
was like the Carlson Palmer of this chat tonight. He wasn't the best, but
he was definitely there.
He was definitely there. He just wasn't the best.
Hey, Bird Gang, you didn't smash the Packers.
And now he's talking smack after him taking the MVP. We smashed the pack.
I'm revoking the MVP award. I'm granting it to Cram tonight for the MVP. That's who I'm going with. Cram. I revoked the Bird Gang MVP designation. Sorry, can't talk crap about Green Bay.
Why don't you just tweet him this? Tweet him a dab. Tweet David a dab for trying to take your MVP away. Because he don't like dabs. Celebrate, baby. Celebrate. Oh. Because, we those type of people that like to celebrate. You don't like it, David? Don't ever play me in Connect 4. Don't ever play me in...
I will kill you in
Don't play me... Oh, man. See me, kid. I will crush you in Connect 4.
Kill you in Monopoly.
You know what? I wish...
Nobody has ever beat me in Monopoly.
I tell you, land on my property, I'm dancing. You in my domain. Don't land on my property. You know what? I want just like that. Throw them stacks on me.
I'll kill you in Monopoly.
I only play Monopoly.
I promise you that.
I only play Monopoly with a stripper pole.
No,
because I want to dance with
Monopoly
when that money's raining all over me.
You're crazy. You're crazy.
That's what I want.
Anyway, I think that's the show for tonight. I don't know. Are we gonna do a Red Zone Blitz after the Super Bowl?
Well, I don't know if the first week, but eventually we're gonna have some Red Zone Blitzes talking about the best free agents, the draft coming up. We'll probably have our yearly mock draft episode. So there's gonna be a couple Red Zone Blitzes before our official offseason starts because, when the NFL has their offseason, so does the Red Zone Blitz during the summer and everything. So
yeah, and I know I mentioned the draft profiles about a month ago, and I've been
just a busy telling you're a busy man, baby.
Just busy, and I'm gonna see if SB Nation can help me with the graphics at least, since I don't have the time to do it all. If they can help me with the graphics, I can just do the audio and put it all in and just upload it. That would save me a lot of time. So I emailed them tonight. I'm going to see if they get back to me, see what they say. So hopefully I can get some draft profiles up for you guys. I want to do one on Paxton Lynch. I want to do one on Jared Goff. All kinds of guys that I've watched, a handful at least. I think I've watched 8 total so far. I'm going to plan on watching more. Carson Wentz climbing up the ranks. Right now, I've got Paxton ahead of Goff, and if I like what I see, he might be first in between those 3. So we'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys posted on Twitter. Again, check me out, Twitter, Facebook, right here, down wherever this is. I can't do it right. And also check out Ezra on Idiot.
Who that maniac said, Ezra, come to Houston for my next Monday. I'm going to Miami in like the 22nd of February. But I would love to visit Houston. I got to visit Houston one day. I really do. And when I do, I'm going to, who that maniac who's the Saints fan in Houston. Got to say what's up. Panthers will be in Houston next February. Who that? Oh, here's some smack talking now.
Yeah, okay.
Little
we'll
Fishy
see
said,
about all that.
Little Fishy said 3 Colts still alive to be in the NFL this year. What 3?
In the Hall of Fame.
In the Hall of Fame. They should pay him. Well, not this year. I'm just saying. I know of a couple of them that should be Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison. I'm on the borderline with Reggie Wayne.
No. I think he says that there's still 3 guys who are playing in the NFL who are going to go to the Hall of Fame. Is that right? Are we talking like Vinatieri and
Vinatieri? He doesn't deserve to go as a Colt. He deserves to go on as a Patriot.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Marvin McNutt is, he doesn't go in as a team. He goes in as a person. He goes in as a McNutt.
I'm reading some of these comments. They're funny. Marvin McNutt, yeah. Yeah, let's vote Marvin McNutt into the NFL Hall of Fame.
I don't know about Reggie Wayne. I got Reggie Wayne right there. Oh, Tony Dungy. Okay, Entrin James. There we go. Entrin James. There we go.
I don't know about that. I would probably put in Reggie Wayne before Entrin James.
Entrin James has some. If I'm about to take up his numbers.
I don't know, man. Look up Reggie Wayne. Look up Reggie Wayne on your spare time.
Let's just look up.
If you can, but
we're going to look up Entrin James, okay? Man, he has some big years, man. Over 12,000 rushing yards, 72 touchdowns, and he had over 3,000 receiving yards, too. So the man could do it all. Entrin James. Let me see something. Does it say career-wise here? I want to see.
While Ezra's searching, man, if this Golden State and Washington game is going to be anything like the Super Bowl, I'm excited. This is the opposite of what everyone's expecting.
Well, it's not
a high-scoring game. It's like 123, 113 with like 3 minutes left in the fourth.
2 rushing. What are you talking about? The Warriors again?
Warriors and the Wizards right now are on ESPN, and that's a high-scoring game.
I'm trying to see where Entrin James ranks all time. Oh, well, I can't find it. But he had some incredible years. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He has 7,000-yard seasons out of 11.
Well, look up Reggie Wayne.
Reggie Wayne's got some sick numbers, too. I know that. I'm just, man.
I'd put in Wayne before I put in Edger and James, I think.
That means Entrin James is going to have to wait 5 more years because Reggie Wayne just retired.
Yeah, he did just retire.
Reggie Wayne has 14,000 receiving yards, 82 touchdowns.
Oh, yeah, I don't know about true point guard, huh? That's I don't know.
I don't know, man. It's going to be fun stuff. Entrin James, thank you for bringing up that name. He was a beast.
Anyway, I think we got enough showing tonight. Check us again. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook to keep up with us throughout the week if we got anything going on. Sometimes I'll post scouting stuff and comments and whatnot on Twitter if you guys want to follow me there. Do the same with Ezra at Idiot Ezra on I believe it's Twitter, right, Ez? I know you just changed it.
At Idiot Ezra is my Twitter. Everything you see it right there in the graphics. Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, all that goodness. Idiot Ezra. Later, Cram. Later, Bird Gang. Later, Fishy. Who that? Maniac. Panthers God. A lot of animals in this in this chat. Thank you guys for your time and your support here on the Red Zone Blitz.
Appreciate it, guys. Again, everyone who tuned in tonight. Hopefully we'll see if we can get a Red Zone Blitz in next week after the Super Bowl. Stay tuned for that. But we'll catch you guys later.
Laters.